The UARA Cool Seal Stars Tour heads into the summer season, so it's only fitting that we're here at Summervile Speedway in Summerville, South Carolina for another exciting 125-lap shootout. I'm Ted Edison along with Nathan Anderson.
That's right, Ted, a beautiful facility we've got behind us. There's been 3 races we've not been with you. Those 3 races, 3 different winners. And right over here to my left, Danny O'Quinn Jr. posted his 2nd victory of the season at Tri-County Speedway in Hudson, North Carolina. Put you atop the point standings and, 2nd win, some momentum for the Homesteader team.
Definitely. Our Homesteader Chevrolet, we've been really consistent all year. We've had good runs. We need to just keep doing this all year, maybe get us another win here tonight at Summerville Speedway. We've got really tough competition from both Keith, Stiltner, and Bumgarner. It's going to be tough to stay up there, but we've been fortunate so far this year. We're just going to keep doing what we have, see what we can get out of it.
It's Danny O'Quinn Jr. Then we headed to Kingsport, and I think Ted's got him.
Yes, we do. Standing next to me, driver of the number 22 Race Mining Chevrolet, Keith Stiltner, who posted his first ever late model Touring Series victory on May 25th at Kingsport Speedway, Kingsport, Tennessee. It was an exciting win for you, I know.
Yeah, it was kind of emotional. Our crew chief had died back in January. He was from that area, which it's our home track too. So it's kind of emotional for the whole crew and myself too. And it was very sweet to get it there. And we're looking forward to going racing here tonight, and hopefully we can pick up another victory. But I need to thank my crew, my wife, my kids, because it's been a roller coaster ride for us this year. We've led, I think, 4 of 6 races or something other. Got 1 win, and should have won some more races, but bad luck's got us. So we're gonna find out if the bad luck's gone here tonight.
Hard-earned victory for you, Keith Stiltner. Send it back to Nathan Anderson with another Keith.
Absolutely, another Keith here, and he's a man who's no stranger to victory lane, especially at Hickory and Tri-County. And another trip to Tri-County saw this man come in late in the race and post another victory. Keith, tell me about it and where you are now.
Right now we're just, I think we're 2nd to points. We're not too far behind, but we just got to keep working on the car, making it better each week. I mean, we had a good run at Tri-County. We come on right there at the end of the race, but we've run pretty good all year. We just need to win tonight.
Absolutely. That's Keith Bumgarner. Always a threat to run up front everywhere these Cool Seal Stars go, Ted.
Thanks a lot, Nathan. Coming up in just a moment, Nathan's going to be talking to the top 5 starters for the night's UARA Cool Seal Stars 125-lap shootout. Here's a look at the top 20 in points heading into this race. Danny O'Quinn Jr. has a 7-point lead over Keith Bumgarner, Frampton Ferguson in 3rd, followed by Keith Stiltner and Wade Day. Here's a look at the rest of the top 20 as we take it to Nathan Anderson, who's got our top 5 qualifiers for this race.
Well, the front straightaway is opened up for the fans to come down and get a little bit better look at these drivers and these cars up close. And Danny O'Quinn Jr. signing an autograph. Let me cut in here right now and talk to Danny. Never driven this track before, Danny, but you come away with the pole here. Turn around and let me know how you edged out Robert Powell for the top spot.
I don't know. We changed a few things there before qualifying and made the car really good. We were a little off in practice, tweaked on it a little bit, and had a good, perfect run. I didn't realize it was quite that fast, but apparently it was. We just have to wait here and see what it does about 125 laps into this race. We come down and practice a little bit there, and I don't know what the track's going to do when the sun goes down, but hopefully we made the right calls and keep this Homesteader trailer Chevy up front.
That's absolutely right. Homesteader's on a roll. We're going to have to start calling him Front Row O'Quinn if he keeps this stuff up. Outside front row has got Robert Powell on the Bailey's machine here. And, Robert, tell me what it's going to take for you guys to stay up front and maybe try to dominate this thing.
Well, the first thing is try to get a good start and try to get the lead on the start. And, Danny had a good lap there. We kind of pushed a little bit off the 2-2nd lap, but I was real happy with the run. Anytime you can qualify on the outside pole with these guys, I think you're doing pretty good.
It's Robert Powell. He'll start from the outside pole tonight at Summerville. Well, Danji Hannaford starts his number 14 machine in the 3rd spot tonight, signing some autographs here. Danji, what are your plans to take this car to the front?
I just hope we can keep it up front and have a good run and stay out of trouble. It's a tight little short track. I just hope we can keep it up front and end up with a good run.
Is Danji Hannaford. He said he's just hoping for the best. Well, Keith Stiltner's known to be up front in a lot of these Cool Seal Stars events. He'll start 4th tonight. Keith, what is it going to take for you guys to get up there and unseat Danny O'Quinn or Robert Powell or maybe even Danji?
Well, I don't really know. Really blowed our mind how we qualified here tonight, but it looked to me like everybody just picked up a bunch. And when we unloaded, I figured, if you run a 35 or a 40, you could be on the pole, and it ends up being a 0, and we run a 22 or 23 or something. It just, I don't know. I'm just going to hold on and shut my eyes for 125 laps and pray that we come out of here with a win and lead every lap of it, but I think it'll be hard to do.
Well, if anybody can do it, Keith Stiltner's got it in his blood. We've seen him do it many times going to the front with the Cool Seal Stars. Starting fifth tonight is Keith Bumgarner with his new bride, Wendy, by his side while the fans go around. And Keith, why don't you let me know what you guys are going to plan on doing tonight to try to get this sucker to the front?
We're just going to ride around, save our tires, and hopefully them boys will wear their stuff out, make it a little easier for us to pass them, and hopefully we're close enough to them. So we'll see what happens.
Here's a look at the starting lineup for today's UARA Cool Seal 125 lap feature. Danny O'Quinn Jr. in the HomesteaderTrailers.com Chevrolet and Robert Powell in the number 56 Bailey Chevrolet make up row 1. Dan G. Hannaford in the Darlington Raceway Chevrolet and number 22 Keith Stiltner in the Race Mining Chevrolet take up row 2. On row 3, the number 95 Country Chair Incorporated Ford of Keith Bumgarner starts 5th with Lee Tissett in the number 27 Chinook Construction Chevrolet starting 6th. Frampton Ferguson will start 7th in the number 19 Wide Open Racing Collectibles Ford. Wade Skipper starts 8th in the number 9 Timberwolf Pontiac. That's row 4. On row 5, it's Alan Gordon in the Gordon Electrical Chevrolet and Jim Reams in the Pro Motor Chevrolet. On row 6, R.A. Brown in the AutoPartsWorld.com Chevrolet and Robert Elliott in the Elliott Sawmilling Company Dodge make up row 6. On row 7, it's Lauren Lanter in the Briscoe Incorporated Chevrolet starting next to the number 4 Quickie Loaders Chevrolet of Jimmy Haley Jr. And on row 8, it's Charlie Chinners in the Sanders Brothers Ford and Popeye Doyle in the unsponsored Chevrolet. And rounding out the field in the number 59 Hames Body and Frame Shop Chevrolet is J.R. Robbs. So you keep it right here. Coming right back, Jerry Reed and I will bring you all the action.
Nothing cools off a hot roof on a hot sunny day like Cool Seal, elastomeric roof coating. It forms a thick rubber-like blanket of protection against roof corrosion and beats the heat. America's #1 elastomeric roof coating. Whee! Cool Seal, protecting mobile home roofs since 1945. Beats the heat. Available at leading retailers.
In just a couple hours, driver Greg Davis has a race to run, but he'll be ready thanks to a good night's sleep. And that's thanks to the Cool Seal reflective coating he put on the roof. It helps keep manufactured houses nice and cool while protecting against leaks. As his official sponsor, we're very proud to have Greg as part of the Cool Seal racing team. And you know what? We think he's pretty excited about it too. Cool Seal, America's #1 reflective roof coating.
Let's take a look at the in-car cams for this race. The number 4 Jimmy Haley Jr. in the Quickie car camera. And we've got the number 60 R.A. Brown in the Auto Parts World car cam. And on the outside pole, the number 56 Bailey's car cam, that's Robert Powell.
And Robert Powell is one of the 2 sons who are very, very good race car drivers of Charlie Powell, who owns this racetrack as we take the green flag.
Yeah, we're underway as Harold Crook brought the Mooresville Ford Mercury Mustang down off of turn 4. And we're underway at Summerville Speedway.
And down the backstretch, Danny O'Quinn Jr. is going to challenge the guy who supposedly owns the line around this track. We'll see about that later, as Robert Powell may have a surprise on his hands with these Tour veterans who know how to come to a new place and get the job done.
Here we got a battle going on between the number 95 Country Chair Ford of Keith Bumgarner and Lee Tissett in the number 27 Chanot Construction Chevrolet. Lee Tissett's been one of those drivers who have had a lot of experience driving stock cars on tracks like this throughout the Southeast.
And we're going to give you a look from inside cars and from wall cams, brought to you by ARP Stock Car Bodies, as right there we saw a car get loose as we go down the backstretch with another ARP wall cam shot.
Here's a look from inside the Quickie Loaders by ALO Chevrolet of Jimmy Haley Jr. One thing I'm noticing early on, Jerry, is that a lot of these cars are getting loose, and these guys spend all afternoon during practice and qualifying trying to get their car just right. How does it feel as a driver when the car is loose after you've already spent all afternoon trying to keep it tight?
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. It feels horrible because you think you've nailed it and you think you've got the weather figured out and you think you got that transition from the Summerville, South Carolina heat to the cool of the night. Well, there is no cool at night, but the sun has gone down, therefore the temperature changes. The car goes loose and you wonder what you're going to do, and you just hang on for dear life.
Charlie Chinners and Jimmy Haley Jr. fighting for positions as they come out of turn 2 and down the backstretch here early on at Summerville Speedway. How important it is to get good positioning, early in this race? You certainly can't win it on the first lap, but I guess you got to get it to where you're at a pace.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Position is very, very important because it's only 125 laps. You can't make adjustments to the cars. You can't make them better. You're going to have to fight the handle to get around some of these guys. So any car you can start in front of is a big bonus to these drivers.
As they come out of turn 4 and across the start-finish line, Robert Powell getting a little distance from Danny O'Quinn Jr. here early in this race as we take a look at what's going on from the in-car cam, the Auto Parts in-car cam of R.A. Brown. The caution flag comes out. Let's see what happened. And it looks like, was Popeye Doyle involved in something? Yep, Popeye. He got turned
by J.R. Robbs in the Hames Body and Frame Shop car. And we see this camera coming off of turn 4, and you see that he didn't get tapped that hard, but when you're leaning into a turn like that, you have no grip if somebody moves the rear end of your car, and that's what happened.
Tough break for Popeye Doyle, who's had a tough break all season long as we're back underway on lap 12. We see Keith Stiltner there in third place, Danny O'Quinn Jr. in second, and Robert Powell's out of your screen. Could he be taking off here early? And we're early into this race, and you don't win it on the first lap, but Robert Powell in the early stages here has the dominant car.
And Robert Powell has definitely hit the setup because he's probably got more laps on this track than any 5 other drivers on the track combined. He's the man who knows how to get the setup here, and look for him to run out front. And besides that, there's a 5-car battle behind him. They're busy fighting each other for position. And guess what? That gives Robert Powell a chance to stretch it out even further.
You wonder what's going through Keith Bumgarner's mind here early. He's part of that 5-car battles. We take a look inside the AutoPartsWorld.com Chevrolet of R.A. Brown. He's got Alan Gordon right in front of him in the Gordon Electric Chevrolet. Caution flag, however, has come out. J.R. Robbs has spun and come to a stop on the front stretch. That's going to give us the opportunity here to take a break ourselves. Here's your top 10 at lap 16 under caution. We'll be right back.
Nothing cools off a hot roof on a hot sunny day like Cool Seal, elastomeric roof coating. It forms a thick rubber-like blanket of protection against roof corrosion and beats the heat. America's #1 elastomeric roof coating. Whee! Cool Seal, protecting mobile home roofs since 1945. Beats the heat. Available at leading retailers.
Greg Davis! Is there anything that works better than Cool Seal roof coatings at stopping leaks and keeping your house nice and cool inside? Didn't think so! Cool Seal! America's #1 reflective roof coating.
Don't forget, you can catch all the UARA action on these networks. To find out more information about Cool Seal, Pit Wall, and the UARA stars, go to these websites.
We're back here at Summerville Speedway. Nathan Anderson is caught up with a special guest.
Well, it's definitely not cool here in the infield of Summerville Speedway, but here's a man who knows a lot about cool, talking about Dave Holvey, Vice President of Cool Seal. And Dave, we got a lot of fans out here tonight. You're able to show off your product, some great racing involved. Talk to me a little bit about it.
Well, we're cool when the heat's on because we put that cool on the roof that helps the fans when they're home and enjoying their house. And down here tonight, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot with a whole lot of cars and a whole lot of hot racing. Somerville is in the Charleston area, and it's nice to be down here in some new tracks and running on some exciting places. So all in all, it's going to be an exciting night with Cool Seal and the UARA stars.
Well, we are really, really proud to be involved with this guy and Cool Seal. They bring a lot to our sport here. The Cool Seal stars, after all. Dave's ready for some racing tonight, and so are we.
Thanks a lot, Nathan. Robert Powell brings the field down as the green flag flies on lap 17. Robert Powell's led every lap so far this evening, and his domination is continuing, Jerry.
And why not? His daddy owns the track. No, just kidding. Robert and Charlie Powell and Charles Powell III, known as CP3, are a racing family from the get-go. And this speedway is no mystery to Mr. Robert Powell. And look at all these cars out here right now. Know that they can't adjust their brakes, they can't adjust the tire pressures, they can't do anything except live with whatever they've got. And Robert Powell's got something to live with, definitely.
Well, also his racing experience. He's the Southeast NASCAR Weekly Racing Series champ in 1986. He was the national champ in 1988, a two-time defending Myrtle Beach Speedway champion, and of course, he won the 1999 Taco Bell 300 at Martinsville Speedway. But Summerville is a track that a lot of South Carolina tracks you can have a lot of trouble getting a handle on, and that's our question of the week. What makes Summerville such a tough track to race at?
No, Summerville's kind of unique. It is for me. I hadn't run here in about 5 years, but I think it's got more bumps now. I remember about 3 or 4, and I can't even count how many I'm finding now, but I don't know. I think you just got to keep a race car. It'll turn, and the big thing is here is keeping a tire on it. You lean up on a tire for about 20 laps, it's going to be gone. You're going to have to really, really conserve tires to be around at the end.
The biggest thing here is to try to keep the car right on the bottom against the wall. Like in 3 and 4 is the hardest corner here. I think it is. You got to really, if you can get that thing right almost off the racetrack, there's a little groove there. And like in practice a while ago, I got my car working pretty good down there, and I scraped the wall with the left front. Got a little bit too low, but if you can get it down there where you can hit the wall, you're pretty good.
And it got a little lip down there. You almost have to hang your left front tire off the racing surface down there like you're kind of running a berm on a dirt track on the opposite side, So instead of the berm being on the right, the berm's on the left. You got to want to hang your tire there and kind of keep it hooked in there. And you get up above that, you maybe move above it maybe 6 or 8 inches, any more than that, and you're just kind of toasted, like you said, when you get hot.
Not really. It's narrow like home at Asheville Speedway, but then the turns are a little sharper. So it's a mix of maybe Greenville Pickens and Asheville Speedway for me.
Well, just right off the bat, it's hard to get a hold of. We're coming off turn 4, and of course everybody's struggling a little bit down there coming off 4. A little bit of a hump where the road comes across the track there, and everywhere else the car feels pretty good. If I can get settled in down there and get the car down on the bottom just a little bit more, I think we'll be comfortable with it. But it's an awesome facility, and Pitwall's doing a great job today.
We certainly are, as Lee Tissett is doing everything he can to hold on to 5th place. Dangy Hannaford's dogging him, as well as Frampton Ferguson. Jerry, we got a good fight brewing here.
Yeah, you got a good fight going. A lot of South Carolina-based drivers who are in this fight. Lee Tissett is based all over the Southeast. Doesn't matter to him, but you look at people like Robert Elliott. He's basically a South Carolina runner. Frampton Ferguson, we know he's from South Carolina, and he's been to every race, every touring. Whoa, we got a little push there, come to shove, when the 12 car is getting all over the 27 car of Lee Tissett and saying, get out of the way.
Yeah, it's going to be what racing is on these short tracks. One thing I've noticed is a lot of brake rotor glow here as we take a look at what's going on inside the Auto Parts World car cam of R.A. Brown. He's behind Alan Gordon. He's been behind Alan Gordon all night. Alan Gordon in 10th, and R.A. Brown looking to break into that top 10. But we got to spin on the backstretch. Charlie Chinners spins on the backstretch. It's going to bring out the caution flag, Jerry.
It looks like he just lit it up just a little bit too much coming off the turn and got himself up in the high groove and spun himself out. No contact that I can see. As a matter of fact, Alan Gordon does a great job of avoiding him on that replay.
I wonder if there was some other contact that went on. Let's take a look at the wall cam, and ouch! Jimmy Haley Jr. having to take a little bit of evasive action, and he's got some damage on that front end. Apparently, he must have hit somebody.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right now, that's not going to do the radiator airflow any good. As we take a look and we see the Briscoe car, the number 58 of Lauren Lanners, he checks up, and Jimmy couldn't check up, but that could have been a much worse wreck than it was if they hadn't gotten those cars under control.
Bad luck for Jimmy Haley Jr. Lee Tissett's going to pit, and so will we. Here's your top 10 at lap 44. Keep it right here.
Greg Davis, is there anything that works better than Cool Seal roof coatings at stopping leaks and keeping your house nice and cool inside? Didn't think so. Cool Seal, America's #1 reflective roof coating.
Don't forget, you can catch all the UARA action on these networks. To find out more information about Cool Seal, Pit Wall, and the UARA stars, go to these websites.
And we're back underway, lap 47 here at Summerville Speedway. As these UARA Cool Seal stars, they came out the race tonight. Let's take a look at R.A. Brown in the AutoPartsWorld.com Chevrolet. He's made his way into the top 10. Alan Gordon moved up to 9th place. Jerry, how frustrating is it when you've got a driver that's been in front of you all night and you just can't seem to get around him?
It's not frustrating at all if the guy doesn't drop down the lane and block you or try to pinch you to the wall or do damage to your car. Right now, they are just absolutely dead equal. Right now is the frustrating point for Jimmy Haley because he's got cars side by side in front of him, and he wants to improve his position and get back towards the front.
I guess you got to figure for a guy like Jimmy, now you're riding around just hoping the car holds together for the rest of the race.
Yeah, when you take a little hit like that, it can do damage to the front suspension, which won't show up till later in a blistered tire. And the number 8 car is definitely loose as he comes off at turn 4.
That's Jim Reams and the number 8 Pro Motors Chevrolet having a tough time of it. You now see Alan Gordon and R.A. Brown. Alan in 9th place and R.A. in 10th. They're duking it out for position, trying to move their way up to the field. But one guy that's not having a bit of trouble tonight, Jerry, at least so far in this race, is Robert Powell. He's dominated right from the start, although he started on the outside of the front row. And he seems to be, for all intents and purposes, cruising away with this race. I mean, he's got smooth sailing ahead of him. And, hey, we're not sure what's going to happen. But what we do know is that we got a feature on this successful driver.
Robert Powell, 37 years old, from Goose Creek, South Carolina. I was 14 years old when I started racing. Well, this is my home track, Summerville Speedway. This is where I started racing dirt. I won the regional championship here in Savannah, Georgia in '86, and won the national championship here in 1988. Yes, sir, I got a wife, Presley Powell, and I got 2 beautiful children, Caitlin Powell, which is 4 years old, and a little boy, Robert Joseph Powell Jr. He's 2 years old. My full-time job at this point in time is driving race cars for Tommy Bird. TWB Motorsports is what I do right now as a living. The sponsor is Bailey's Cigarettes. They're out of Virginia. They come on board last year to run Myrtle Beach Speedway, and I'm pretty much content with what I'm doing. I'm happy with the car owner I got him, and he treats me so good. It's just, I mean, we know we don't want to run Myrtle Beach Speedway much more, but we're looking to run the UARA next year probably. We really would like to do it. You know, when you get in a touring series, people tend to respect each other a lot more because you're working so hard to travel. Our deal is we've run our one racetrack for the last 2 years, and we just want to do something different. And, you know, anytime you go to different racetracks, you gain experience, and it's more fun for the guys not to have so much pressure running one racetrack. The track gets on you. I love sports. I love watching football, and my favorite NFL team is the Washington Redskins. Washington Redskins. Washington Redskins, without a doubt. I'm a Gemini, so which one you talking about? No, I'm a pretty hard person to get along with sometimes. I'm just so serious about racing that when I'm at the racetrack, I'm totally different than when I'm away from the racetrack. I think it's the thrill of winning. I mean, I'm a very competitive person, and I love to win. And I don't go to racetrack to make friends, and I don't go to run second. That's what I'm about. I don't have anything else. That's all I do is race.
Yeah, all he does is race, and that's all he's doing tonight is racing and saying see you later to Danny O'Quinn Jr. Danny O'Quinn Jr. doing everything he's going to do to stay on his bumper. Hey, Jerry, tell me about this. What's the deal with the brake rotor? I mean, Lee Tiss has a glowing rotor going into the turns there.
You use a lot more brake at this track than you would think, and these guys have been caught with not being able to adjust the brake bias between whether the whoa, we got the 8 car in the wall just a little bit there, but you look at the 27, you see that rotor is virtually on fire. Well, what's happening is they can't adjust it. There's nothing they can do about it. If they're going to run hard, they're going to light the brakes up.
And what happened with Jim Reams leads me to my other question about how these drivers try to use as much of the track as they can, and that includes getting up really close to the wall so that when you get into the turn, you're using up as much asphalt as possible.
Yeah, but the one thing you don't want to do is use all the asphalt up top, because if you get into marbles up there, we got the number 4 car, Jimmy Haley Jr., doing a spin as the number 8 got him in the rear bumper. I'm
wondering, this is not going to be Jimmy Haley Jr.'s night to remember as we take a look at the wall cam, and Jimmy Haley Jr. spun. Do you think he got a little help from Jim Reams?
He got more than a little help. Jim Reams just plowed right on into him and took him on around. I think they've been duking it out real closely for a couple of laps there.
So you take a look at what went on, and from Jimmy Haley Jr.'s point of view, certainly not a very happy man at this point. It's hot here at Summerville, South Carolina. It's certainly hot in that number 4 Quickie Loaders by Yellow Chevrolet. We're at caution lap 62. You keep it right here.
In just a couple hours, driver Greg Davis has a race to run, but he'll be ready thanks to a good night's sleep. And that's thanks to the Cool Seal reflective coating he put on the roof. It helps keep manufactured houses nice and cool while protecting against leaks. As his official sponsor, we're very proud to have Greg as part of the Cool Seal racing team. And you know what? We think he's pretty excited about it too. Cool Seal, America's #1 reflective roof coating.
Auto racing coverage in the Mid-Atlantic, promoting the weekly short track. Motorsports Magazine is just what you need to quench your thirst for short track racing news and opinions. Motorsports Magazine covers it all, from late model stock to hobby stock, from asphalt and dirt ovals to road courses. Just $12 gets you 9 issues. Call 1-888-559-7223 or just click on pitwall.com to subscribe. Motorsports Magazine, the most reader-friendly short track publication around.
Guys, they're getting ready to start the race.
Yeah. Nothing cools off a hot roof on a hot sunny day like Cool Seal, elastomeric roof coating. It forms a thick rubber-like blanket of protection against roof corrosion and beats the heat. America's #1 elastomeric roof coating. Whee! Cool Seal, protecting mobile home roofs since 1945. Beats the heat. Available at leading retailers.
The green flag ready to fly here on lap 65 as we're past the midpoint in the UARA Cool Seal Stars race here at Summerville Speedway, Summerville, South Carolina. Robert Powell has led every lap and has dominated in what I can't describe any other way. It's just that this is his night so far, Jerry.
It's his night, but remember the man behind him in second place, Danny O'Quinn Jr., is the kid who's on the move, 16 years old, approaching 17. A lot of experience so far for a young kid. He's also one of the guys duking it out for the points championship in the UARA Cool Seal Star Series.
Here's things the way they're looking from the number 4 Quickie Chevrolet in-car camera of Jimmy Haley Jr.'s car now without a hood, and I figure the way his night's going, he'll have a modified by the time it's over.
And don't forget to mention the fact that Keith Stiltner in the Race Mining Chevrolet and the Country Chair Ford of Keith Bumgarner, the two Keiths who have been guys who have run Touring Division races successfully in the past. They're both right there lurking and waiting to take a position away from somebody, but not necessarily from Robert Powell since he's so far out front.
Well, you got to admit, these two Keiths have been really quiet. We haven't heard a whole lot from them, just kind of like sitting back and waiting for something to happen, which can be critical if you're to be successful sometimes. You just got to kind of sit and lay and wait for things to happen in front of you instead of forcing the issue.
Sometimes you can save a little bit of tire. That's the only thing you're looking forward to doing. Maybe a little bit of brake pad, too, the way these rotors are glowing. But in a short track race, you really can't wait around very long without taking a position that's in front of you if it's offered. I mean, if an opening comes, these guys will tell you they got to take it. Right now, Stiltner and Bumgarner are both about a car length and a half apart, and I think they will stay there for a while because they respect each other immensely.
One thing I've noticed on that wall shot that we just saw is how close these cars get to the wall. Tell us a little bit about, why they get the car so close to the wall. I think it has something to do with using as much of the racetrack as you can.
You don't want to pinch the car coming off the turn by keeping it down low and not letting it have its head and run out towards the wall. Also, conversely, you do not want to get too close to the wall because you can damage the toe end on these cars in a heartbeat simply by brushing the wall lightly.
So as Robert Powell has smooth sailing ahead of him, here's a feature on a successful driver from Coburn, Virginia, the one, the only Danny O'Quinn Jr.
Hi, I'm Danny O'Quinn Jr. from Coburn, Virginia. I'm a 16-year-old junior at Coburn High School. I've been racing cars for 3 years. I started racing go-karts when I was 7 years old. Dad had raced go-karts back when he was younger, and he asked me sometime if we want to go racing, and I said yeah. So we went and bought a used go-kart and went. We weren't real competitive the first couple of weeks, but after I got used to it and run a few races, we started running competitive, and I just got hooked on it, and I've been racing ever since. We moved to cars in '99 and won the championship in late models at Lonesome Pine in 2000, so we've had a pretty successful career in cars so far. This year we're going to run the UARA Touring Series. It gives local guys like myself a good chance to broaden our horizons and want people like me who want to move up in racing a good place to start. I got to give a lot of credit to my crew. I've got a good bunch of guys who help me every week get the car prepared. I got Lee Fields, Kenneth Plaster, Greg Jesse, just a great bunch of guys to help me work on the car week in and week out. They've been out there and helped me do all night before on it when we've gotten wrecks and things, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to race. I really got to give a lot of credit to my sponsors this season. We've brought on some new people, HomesteaderTrailer.com. I also got to thank my mom and dad at O'Quinn Trailer Sales, Pizza Hut, Trevor Supply Company, Coburn Chevron, 7-Up, just all those guys. They've been a great group of people to help us out. They just make our racing a little easier, and we can help them out by it. Well, if I wasn't racing, I don't really know. That's been pretty much my whole life. I'm going to play football this year for our school, and I like just going out in the woods and just riding four-wheelers and things of that nature. But pretty much racing is my life. In the future, I hope to maybe move to ASA in a couple of years and on to Busch and hopefully Winston Cup someday. This year we're looking to go for the championship. I think we've got a good car and good crew set up under our cars. for this year. We're just going to go out and run consistent week to week, get good top fives, and maybe win some races, and the points should fall into place. So we're just going to give it our best shot and go for that championship at the end of the year.
Danny O'Quinn Jr. definitely a contender for a championship in the UARA Cool Seal Stars Tour. Keith Bumgarner, Keith Stiltner, this is a fight for third, Jerry. Will Bumgarner make the move?
He's got to do it now. You got to go. When you see a car in front of you that's slightly loose and it's a guy you trust, you can stick the nose down there and try to make it happen. And Bumgarner is so good late in the race. He knows how to save tires. He knows how to save a car.
And Keith Stiltner doing everything, fighting, scratching, clawing to get that bumper down low enough, try to put the block on Bumgarner. These two guys have battled along with Danny O'Quinn Jr. It's been a three-way dogfight right from the start of the season, Jerry.
It has been, and these two guys know exactly what the other one is going to do, but that doesn't mean the other guy won't make a mistake. And if he does make a mistake and you don't anticipate it, you can be wadded up in the wall in a heartbeat. So they got to be careful and aggressive.
Wade Skipper in the number 9 Timberwolf Pontiac and Lauren Lanter in the Briscoe Incorporated Chevrolet. This is a fight for 9th as Lanter doing everything he can to maintain his position, but looks like Skipper's got that upper hand as they come out of turn 2.
Skipper's got that South Carolina line. Wade has run this track many, many times in the past. Lauren Lander has been on the touring trail over the past 3 years and is definitely a driver on the move.
Wade Skipper's home track is Myrtle Beach Speedway. He's got one win in his career there. He's got also track titles at Timminsville Speedway, just a little bit ways up the road as we take a look at what's going on inside the car of number 60, the AutoPartsWorld.com Chevrolet in-car cam of R.A. Brown. He's right behind Alan Gordon again. Will he ever find a way around him?
I think he's going to have to put the bumper to him and maybe mess with some of that peppermint candy on the rear bumper cover in order to get around, because they, the laps are winding down. It's time to make a move if you got anything left.
Speaking of being messed with, look at these three cars. Jim Reams, you got Lee Tissett and Jimmy Haley Jr. All of them have got bent sheet metal if they got sheet metal on their car at all.
Well, these three guys, whoa, we got a little, I would almost have to call that payback. I think I see payback. The number 8 car has definitely been turned by the number 4 car of Jimmy Haley Jr.
And let's go to the replay as Reams' car turns into Thomas the Tank Engine as they come out of turn 3 and into 4 and onto the front stretch. You see, oh, somebody got drop kicked there. Hey, we got a caution. You keep it right here. Be right back. Here's your top 10 at lap 86.
Greg Davis! Is there anything that works better than Cool Seal roof coatings at stopping leaks and keeping your house nice and cool inside? Didn't think so! Cool Seal! America's #1 reflective roof coating.
Don't forget, you can catch all the UARA action on these networks. To find out more information about Cool Seal, Pit Wall, and the UARA stars, go to these websites.
Fire Aid 2000, the revolutionary new fire extinguisher, is now available for your home.
The new technology in Fire Aid 2000 has changed the firefighting industry. Not only does it extinguish fires quickly, but Fire Aid 2000 eliminates reignition.
Outdated dry chemical extinguishers allow fires to reignite. The fires keep coming back, but Fire Aid 2000 eliminates reignition with no messy powder cleanup. Call now to protect your home and family with the new technology recommended by firefighting and racing professionals around the world.
Ted Edison along with Jerry Reed. We're at Summerville Speedway, Summerville, South Carolina, as we get ready to go back under green flag conditions on lap 88. But Robert Powell's having trouble as they come into turn 1. Danny O'Quinn Jr. is going to assume the lead. Robert Powell's having some problems. What happened?
And the 95 car, Keith Bumgarner, and the 22 of Keith Stiltner are both getting around the early dominant car of Robert Powell. I think what happened was he had to slap on his brakes real hard to miss that incident that Jimmy Haley created when he got into the back of the 8 car. And when he did, I think there's a possibility that the pad stuck to the rotor on his car as he was trying to avoid that incident.
Here's the replay, and we see Powell there trying to avoid the trouble. Something happened to his car. Let's take a listen from inside his car when this happened.
That sound tells all. He had to lock the brakes up real hard, and right now he already knows he's got a problem with the brake rotors because he's trying to accelerate through it, and that won't work. Once those brake pads stay out against the rotor, they're going to stay there for the rest of the night.
This has been a tough break for Robert Powell tonight and a shocking end for his night. But speaking of shocks, that is the subject of this Tech Talk.
Well, as any late model driver will tell you, shock combination is a big deal. Well, CV Products and 2 Quick Shocks with Dean Jarrell here on the left of Jimmy Haley and I bring a lot to the table for the UARA Cool Seal Stars. Now, Jimmy, tell me what Dean and 2 Quick is able to bring to the table for you guys.
Well, these guys have made their shocks adjustable for us, and they come to the track and offer a lot of expertise in the line of shocks. CV Products with 2 Quick Shocks, they come in here and they are able to adjust these shocks and fine-tune them at the track, whereas before we were running a pretty much standard shock and we didn't have that adjustability. And I think that's what's propelled us up to about 6th in the points right now.
So let's take a look at Dean. Is what he's holding in his hand here is a 2 Quick Shock we use on these late models. Dean, kind of explain to us how these bad boys work and help these late model drivers out.
Okay, what we have here is your standard body shock. It's your basic package that we're starting all these late model guys off with. They are, as far as at the track, adjustable. We do have adjustable shafts, but they're not legal in this division, so we're sticking with the adjustability as far as taking it off the car, going in the trailer, adjustable, putting it back on the car and back on the track. You know, you're talking 5 minutes at the most. So that's the main thing, is getting this adjustability where you can do it at the racetrack instead of having to send them off and get them back and all that, which, you know, you can send them to us, we can revalve them, but you can do it here, and that's the main thing that people's looking for. What we're actually doing when we say adjustment, we're not actually raising it up or down, so what we're doing, we're making basically the shock either stiffer or we're making it softer, depending on what spring rate that these cars are running, because all these cars are set up different, all these drivers have a different driving style, so we have to fit what these cars are wanting and what these drivers are wanting. It may be a stiffer shock, it may on compression, it may be less rebound, or it may be more rebound.
Well, that's 2 Quick Shocks from CV Products, a big help to the UARA Cool Seal Stars.
And what has been a shocking end to Robert Powell's night as we go back into action on lap 92, and we look from inside the number 60 R.A. Brown Chevrolet, the AutoPartsWorld.com in-car cam of R.A. Brown as they come down the backstretch and into turn 3. I wonder if Danny O'Quinn Jr. will be able to hold on to that lead. He's got 2 hard chargers right behind him, Jerry.
A double pack of trouble known as Keith Stiltner and Keith Bumgarner, and Keith Bumgarner is a past master of saving his car for the late charge to the checkered flag. Wonder if he'll be able to do it this time. He's looked strong, very quiet but very strong all night long as Robert Powell was dominating.
Meanwhile, we got some traffic in the back. Wade Skipper there in the number 9 Timberwolf Pontiac, J.R. Robs in the Ames Body and Frame Shop Chevrolet. We also saw some of Lauren Lanter. These guys are trying to get into that top 10, and I mean, that can be an important finish for some of these guys.
Well, right now, if they know they're not going to win, what they're doing is they're racing hard and having a good time. I mean, after all, some of this is supposed to be fun, even on a hot night like this.
Now, I do notice that Jimmy Haley Jr. and Lee Tissett are starting to trade and swap paint for some position, or just try to come away with a decent finish in what has been pretty much a rough night for both drivers.
They've been real close and hooked up on. There's another bump, and the 27 car of Lee Tissett has been spun himself across the front end of Jimmy Haley's car.
I got to wonder if Jimmy Haley didn't have a little bit to do with that, because I noticed on the in-car there was a little bit of a knock just before Lee Tissett went a spinning out of turn 2 and down the backstretch.
I don't know, because the 12 car was involved in that too. I mean, everybody who has somebody to pay back was involved in that incident.
Lap 100, we're back underway quickly. Danny O'Quinn Jr. with the lead. Here's how it looks from the AutoPartsWorld.com in-car cam of R.A. Brown. He's got Jimmy Haley Jr. there with more hanging sheet metal. He's still chasing down Alan Gordon in the number 29 Gordon Electric Chevrolet. Alan Gordon in 7th place, R.A. Brown in 8th. And Jerry, this is becoming a really fascinating, fun race to watch as we see Danny O'Quinn Jr. leading Keith Bumgarner. Bumgarner putting on the heat on O'Quinn as they come out of turn 2.
The heat is definitely on, and like I said, Keith Bumgarner has been cool all night. Now he's turning up the wick.
I guess Keith Bumgarner took advantage of a little bit of Cool Seal to keep his cool while the heat was on.
Get your tongue out of your cheek. That's okay. A good plug for Dave Holby and the guys. But look at Bumgarner handled down low.
Bumgarner making the move on Danny O'Quinn Jr. down that backstretch. Keith Steltner trying to follow suit. Can't do it as we take a look from the wall cam as the cars go zooming by right into your living room from Summerville Speedway, Summerville, South Carolina. Back to Jimmy Haley Jr., who's just trying to ride it out at this point.
I think he's had enough, and J.R. Robbs was hiding down on the bottom of the track saying, please don't take any sheet metal off of my car, guys. You go out and have all the fun you can handle.
J.R. Robbs from Gaffney, South Carolina, just having a really tough night after spinning earlier in the race. He just wants to come home across finish line with the car rolling, which is for a lot of these guys, especially Jimmy Haley Jr. and Lee Tissett. You see their cars are all beaten, banged up as they go into the turns. I mean, for them it's just get it in, get it rolling, get it back on the pace hauler and get out of there.
And why do these three guys end up together every time we turn around? I mean, they've been whacking each other. I think Jimmy Haley just either got very, very loose and made an odd move with that car or got whacked in the rear bumper himself. But these three guys have been pounding each other all night.
You got to wonder, should they be like the two boys in class that should be separated to different parts of the room? Here we see action from R.A. Brown's car in the AutoPartsWorld.com car cam, still chasing around.
They're just boys having fun on a hot summer night. All these guys are going to have a big grin on their face when they get out of the car after this race because they beat and banged, but they didn't tear everybody up.
But the caution flag has now come out again, probably for either fluid or debris on the track that's going to slow the field down as they get things cleaned up quickly. As we get back underway, lap 110, Keith Bumgarner, Danny O'Quinn, Keith Steltner at your top three. Danji Hannaford suddenly shows up into the mix, but the caution flag has come out again. We'll be back. Lap 109. Keep it here.
So, how do you get Cool Seal reflective coating on the job protecting your asphalt roof? Put Coolastic Primer on it first. The heavy-duty rubberized undercoating that adheres to even the most troublesome roof surface. Coolastic from Cool Seal. In just a couple hours, driver Greg Davis has a race to run, but he'll be ready thanks to a good night's sleep. And that's thanks to the Cool Seal reflective coating he put on the roof. It helps keep manufactured houses nice and cool while protecting against leaks. As his official sponsor, we're very proud to have Greg as part of the Cool Seal racing team. And you know what? We think he's pretty excited about it too. Cool Seal, America's #1 reflective roof coating. So, how do you get Cool Seal reflective coating on the job protecting your asphalt roof? Put Coolastic Primer on it first. The heavy-duty rubberized undercoating that adheres to even the most troublesome roof surface. Coolastic from Cool Seal.
We're back to racing action. 14 laps to go here at Summerville Speedway as Keith Bumgarner leads Danny O'Quinn Jr. into the turns, Jerry. Does Danny O'Quinn Jr. have anything left?
I don't think he does. I think Keith Bumgarner, like I said, he's a past master at saving the parts he needs to finish a race with in a top position, and I think he's probably got Danny covered unless Danny makes a big bonsai move to the bottom of the track and tries to move him with his bumper.
So you've got to wonder, the battle may very well be for second between O'Quinn and Keith Stiltner.
And if they jam things up, you could have Frampton Ferguson and all sorts of other people getting into that act because the second or third through sixth are not separated that far.
And we see that heavy traffic in the back. Alan Gordon and Lauren Lanter duking it out for a spot on the finishing order to improve, at least for Lauren Lanter, trying to improve his spot in the finishing order.
Did you want to mention that R.A. Brown finally got around the 29 car of Alan Gordon?
Hooray for R.A. Brown. Congratulations, R.A. You finally found the route around the number 29 Gordon Electric Chevrolet. Victory in itself, wouldn't you say?
I'd say that's exactly what he was looking for. He knew he couldn't do anything else as far as a big finishing position, so why not get around the 29 car and call that one of those small victories that race car drivers love to brag about after the race.
As we look from inside the AutoPartsWorld.com car cam of the number 60 Chevrolet of R.A. Brown, J.R. Robbs saw a little bit of wall action there when he came out of turn 4.
Yeah, this has not been his year, nor has it been his night, and he hit the wall a pretty good lick there. But you notice how R.A. Brown sort of shied away from the 4 car. You almost need a tetanus shot to get close to Jimmy Haley's car. I mean, there's sheet metal sticking out all over that number 4 car.
He figures just walking near the car, you need a tetanus shot, don't you think?
Yeah. But that's what happens on a short track, and he has been in there, and he has been clawing, fighting tooth and nail for every position he can get on the track, and guess who's back with him?
Guess who's back with him? Trading sheet metal. Come on, boys, it's late in the race. Can't you guys just behave?
No, they've been having fun like this all night long. Why not carry it right to the checkered flag if they possibly can?
That battle is for 11th as Lee Tissett is going to make his way around Jimmy Haley Jr. as these laps wind down here at Summerville Speedway. Final lap coming up. Keith Bumgarner leading Danny O'Quinn Jr. in the turn 1. Will Danny O'Quinn Jr. be able to make up enough of this asphalt real estate to get a final move on Bumgarner? I don't think so. Keith Bumgarner from Taylorsville, North Carolina is going to take the checkered flag here at Summerville Speedway, Summerville, South Carolina. Let's send it down to Nathan Anderson, who's waiting anxiously in victory lane to talk with our winner.
All right, Keith, come on out, buddy. That's Keith Bumgarner, winner at Summerville Speedway. Keith, you hung around 4th or 5th all night long. You got by the 22, you got by the 01. Powell had his problems. After that, we thought you were going to set sail, but the 01 really stayed on you, but you made it to the finish line. Tell us about your run.
Yeah, I just need to thank the Lord above. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here, but I mean, it was pretty awesome. We just rode right there and really didn't know if we had a shot. We just kind of riding. We got around the Steeler there and got around Danny right there. Appreciating everybody running me clean there. I got into Danny a little bit there. I hate that, but just trying to get every position I could when I could. And he run me hard right there at the end, but we held on.
A winner at Tri-County and now the winner at Summerville, Keith Bumgarner, the number 95 Country Chair Ford in victory lane. Danny O'Quinn Jr.'s got a bottle of water in his hand. He's trying to get the sweat off his face after a hard run. Led for a little while. Bumgarner finally got you, but you made it a hard fight.
Oh, yeah, my car got a little loose there at the end, but Bumgarner's tough. We still come out here for a good second-place finish. I got to thank all these guys on my crew, HomesteaderTrailers.com, Pizza Hut, Coburn Chevron, Trevor Supply Company, 7-Up, just everybody on this crew, my mom and dad, O'Quinn Trailer Sales, Anthony Mountain, all the fans. We had a good run. We just got to keep doing this. I'm having fun.
Well, Keith Stiltner had a fairly good race. He was up front all day long, didn't quite have the muscle to make it. Tell me about your run, and, I mean, what a good showing at a track you've never ran at before.
Yeah, this is the first time we've been here, and I like the racetrack. I'm glad we're coming back. After last week at Tri-County, which is not televised, so I'll go ahead and let that out that we destroyed a car, and this is our backup car, so we just tickled to death that we're coming home with a a top 5 finish and a whole car, and next week we can go to Orange County without having to try to kill ourselves to get ready.
Well, Danji Hannaford had a good run in the 14 machine. Comes home with a 4th place finish here at Summerville. Tell me about your run.
I'll tell you what, it's a pretty good run. The car was a little off, but we fought it all night and came home with a good finish. And it's good to come around home and get a good run. We've never been here, but I mean, for our first time here, we had a good run.
Well, tell me about the racing situation between you guys battling the top 5 all now. There's a lot of close racing out there.
Oh yeah, everybody, the whole top 5, top 6 there, they were really close together. I mean, it was really kind of anybody's race. If somebody slipped or missed a line or whatever, it'd been in it up for grabs.
That's Danji Hannaford. He's just happy to come out of this place in one piece. Well, even though things were close up front, we had a photo finish almost for 5th, and Frampton just edges out Robert Elliott for the 5th spot.
Yeah, I was just holding on. I kind of got my stuff burned up that last 20 laps, and I was basically having to stop in the corner. We turned this into a drag race. I just had to hold on. I knew it was coming, but just try to hold on, get a top 5. We in this thing for the points, and you don't give up.
Not giving up is the key to victory. Keith Bumgarner certainly didn't give up, and the number 95 country chair forward as he takes home the victory. How about that Danji Hannaford pulling off a 4th place finish after starting 3rd. Here's 6th through 10th place. Robert Elliott taking home 6th place. A good run for him. 11th and 12th, Lee Tissett, Jimmy Haley Jr. They've been trading paint all night long, and that's where they wound up. Robert Powell, rough way for him to wind up in the end of this race. Jim Reams, Jimmy Doyle rounding out your top finishers as we take a look at the points following this race. Keith Bumgarner, Danny O'Quinn Jr. tied with 720 points. Going to make things interesting when the tour stops at Orange County Speedway, and that's when you'll see us next time. Danny O'Quinn Jr., of course, with the Sunoco Pole Award. Keith Bumgarner with the 2 Quick Performance Shocks Winner's Circle Award. Of course, Danny O'Quinn and Keith taking home the Outlaw Performance Award. We'll see you next time from Orange County Speedway, Rougemont, North Carolina. You take care.